I have a headache, so I hope this turns out good. Um, as you all know, I don't script these videos. I do everything live off the top of my head, which means I don't always get little details right. But what you do get is the real me, warts and all. Um, and I feel like it's important to mention that today because I'm about to talk about A Song of Ice and Fire, which a few of you know that I'm a super nerd when it comes to that book series. But it's also a series where a lot of people are going to get mad at me in the comments for getting little things wrong. I don't have a script. I didn't research any of this, not in the last couple of years anyway. And I'm just ranting based on what I know. So there are going to be minor things that I get wrong, but the overall gist of it will be correct. However, leave those comments, correct me. It feeds the algorithm, which kind of links back to a point in this video. First off, going on a tangent, I just saw the trailer to House of the Dragon, which is what we'll be talking about today. But why is it called House of the Dragon and not Dance of the Dragons? Who had a meeting and thought, oh, we should call Dance of the Dragons House of the Dragon? Dance of the Dragons is a much better name, and it's literally the historic event that the TV series is about. It's almost as stupid as calling A Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones, but that turned out to be a blessing and a curse. So, who knows? Anyway, let's get back on topic. I watched the trailer, and I want to discuss a few things with you guys, and there will be major spoilers, providing the showrunners actually stick to the official lore and history, which, who knows, because we all saw how Game of Thrones ended. So, officially warned, spoilers ahead, cry about it in the comments, don't care, you've been warned, should have read the books. House of the Dragon, from the looks of it, it's about King Viserys Targaryen, first of his name, known as the Young King. He was born in, I want to say, 77 AC. AC stands for Aegon's Conquest, in case you guys were wondering, peasants. And he died in 192 AC at the age of 52. And from what I remember reading, he was a peaceful king who shied from conflict, and the people loved him. He was chubby with blonde and silver hair and had a little cute blonde mustache. He was also, I think he was very headstrong. Like, he was the sort of person who, he shied away from conflict, but once he had made a decision, he would never falter from that decision. And as I said, the people, if this old brain's working correctly, the people loved him, and Westeros really prospered under his reign. Now, Viserys I was married twice. We're not really going to talk about too much into the marriages, but anyway, his first wife was Aenna Arryn, and she died giving birth to his son. Now, they had already had a daughter. This was his second child and his son, which would be his heir. Now, following her death, his son died, I think, the day after. And it's important to note that, because what happens is the king's brother, Daemon Targaryen, he gets caught talking a bunch of shit to some prostitutes in a brothel and makes a pretty grim joke about about his son being the heir for a day, which is pretty messed up. So when Viserys finds that out, he's grieving and he's pissed. And so what he does to get revenge on his brother is he holds a ceremony and names Rhaenyra, his daughter, the Princess of Dragonstone, which basically makes her the heir to the throne and pisses off all the other Targaryens at this point, because there were no female heirs. That wasn't a thing in that history. And all of this leads to the Dance of the Dragons, which is the name of a war, like an in-family war of all the Targaryens who are fighting over the succession to the throne. And this is where I am concerned with House of the Dragon. See, I watched the trailer, and it seems like they're focusing heavily on this part of the story. And Rhaenyra is specifically told, men would sooner put the realm to torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne. What a stupid line. First, she was given and put on the throne by a man. These days, we're all a little jaded. It's 2022. And I just know the showrunners are trying to turn this into a feminist power fantasy. And they're probably going to take really high liberties with the source material. And we all know how well that went for Game of Thrones final seasons, and basically every other TV series out there that tries this. And it feels like they specifically scoured Westeros history to find a moment where they can focus on feminism and femininity as a hero role. But I don't think they quite did their research, or they did do their research and they're going to change things. Because if you guys know what happens to Rhaenyra Targaryen, like, you know, and you're about to know because I'm just talking now. This is bad news for you fans of Rhaenyra Targaryen, and if you watch this after you watch the show, I told you so. If you watch it beforehand, at least you know what you're getting into. Remember how all those people had their knickers in a twist over Daenerys' treatment towards the end of Game of Thrones, despite all the warning signs, like her, you know, burning people alive and crucifying people, etc., like the fact that she was insane, just like her brother. And they were like, how dare you do that? She was meant to be the queen, and they couldn't handle it. Well, guess what? Rhaenyra Targaryen is a terrible ruler once she sits on the throne. Her reign only lasts 6 months off the top of my head. And in that time, she basically does nothing, becomes a fat cow, eats up all the food while the people starve and the kingdom is drained of its money. Now, before you type, I can hear your keyboard, put it down. I know most of the money was stolen during the Dance of the Dragons. I know that. So she didn't have much money in the coppers in the first place. But she didn't do anything to bring more money into the kingdom either. And this caused a really bad time for the peasants. And because of how she got on the throne, she grows paranoid and goes a little crazy because, you know, Targaryens are inbred and crazy. And so she has a bunch of her loyal followers killed. And the peasants start referring to her as King Maegor with tits, if I'm not mistaken. And they even coined the insult Maegor's tits when referring to the queen getting all fat and plump while they suffer. So whenever something goes wrong for them, they go, Maegor's tits. Because they're all suffering. And this leads to them rioting against the queen. And then in the end, her half-brother Aegon II feeds her to his dragon, Sunfire, just like a cow in Jurassic Park. His dragon's name is Sunfire, by the way, but that's going off on a tangent. So correct me if I'm wrong about any of that, but I know my Song of Ice and Fire pretty well, and I'm pretty certain I got that correct. So if the showrunners are going to try and do the wokey pokey and turn the show around, which it looks like they may be going for, because that's like the big line in the trailer. Like that's like the focus point that they want everyone to focus on in that trailer. They're either going to have to change the source material a ton or risk drawing major outrage from the woke mob once they realize that their strong woman main character, just like all the other Targaryens, is just an insane, inbred, mentally unstable person who is a terrible ruler and ends up getting fed to a dragon. So, you know, why couldn't we have just had a Dunk and Egg series instead? That's all I have to say about this. Good luck. Maybe it'll be good, but I doubt it. And if I'm wrong, I'll, you know, egg on my face. But if I'm right, Fat Queen getting eaten by a dragon will be fun to watch. Have a nice day.